bitter blow was it losing your mast, and what was going through your head as it happened?
Well, obviously, I mean, it's the worst thing you could possibly imagine. Losing the mast when you're in second place, 3/4 of the way through the leg. Emotion, what went through our minds at the time, obviously disaster is the first thing. Because of what's happening at the time, you get over that pretty quickly, and then you sort of go into a little bit of survival mode, because what you really want to do is you want to not damage the boat anymore, and you want to try and save all your sails. So we went into that mode straight away. We did that really well. Luckily it was during the day that it happened. The sea state was okay. The wind wasn't that windy when it happened, but at least it didn't seem that windy after the mast fell down. But yeah, I mean, and then obviously, once we got all the pieces back on board and we sort of sat there and had time to reflect, and then it sort of sinks home as to how much of a disaster it actually is, and obviously what it means for our race. It's going to be an uphill battle from here on out, and I mean, just something that you can never mentally prepare for. It's not even in the back of my mind, something like that. A big breakage like that on the first leg, after we've done so much, preparation and R&D and testing and things like that. Very unfortunate.
You managed to get yourselves to a remote little settlement, I understand.
Yeah.
What was that like, and what did you do to try and keep busy and keep your spirits up?
Well, when it happened, we were 1,800 miles from Rio, 2,200 miles from Cape Town, but luckily this little island called Tristan was sort of midway between us and Cape Town, 750 miles from where our mast broke, and the main thing is we needed fuel, so we, through a lot of logistics, they diverted a freighter, a container ship, to come and sell us some fuel, which in the middle of the ocean is an amazing thing in itself. We managed to do that, and then we started heading towards Tristan, and the closer we got, some of our guys in our short team forwarded us some Wikipedia information and some Google information on the little island and what we could expect, and it sort of got more and more interesting, and then obviously we were really looking forward to getting there. I mean, once we got there, it's essentially just a volcano with a tiny little settlement on the off to one side, and there's 200 odd people living there, and it was amazing. Luckily that island was there, otherwise we'd still be out there, trying to make our way to Cape Town, and we'd probably miss the start of the next leg.
Gosh. I hear that it wasn't necessarily all bad on the island, as I understand.
No, I mean, you have to make the best of a bad situation. People were very friendly. They had 2 little guest houses there, so it didn't mean sleeping in the boat. We actually could sleep in a bed. We were fed very well, nice home-cooked meals. And then it was like, okay, what are we going to do? And then they said, oh, well, we've got golf. So I think it's like the world's most remote golf course. It was in a cow pasture or paddock, and so we played golf. We hiked up the mountain, which was actually a big feat. It's 2,200 meters or something, and obviously we weren't feeling 100% at that stage. We'd just been on the boat for a good part of 2.5 weeks, so our legs weren't up for hiking that much, but we did it, and we have the certificate to prove it. Now what else did we do? I think we played golf twice, and we hiked up the mountain, and then we took little walks and little smaller hikes, just trying to keep busy. But it was actually a very pleasant stay in the end.
So it wasn't too difficult to survive the experience.
No, it wasn't. No.
You've got less than 4 days, I gather, to actually prepare yourself for the next leg. That's not a lot of time, and you must be quite tired. What lies ahead now?
Yeah, well, obviously, getting the boat back into racing condition is the number one thing. Trying to rest as much as possible, eat healthy, try not to get sick, try and rest, and then just try and mentally prepare ourselves for the upcoming leg, and just sort of put everything that's happened behind us and move ahead, and we've all experienced enough that I think we can do that, and I don't see it being a problem, and 4 days here is not a long time, but we've come to realise the fact that it's not going to be a long time here. There's not going to be a lot of preparation time, but our boat's not in bad shape, other than the mast. It really isn't, and sure, there's a lot of things we could have done here, both relaxation wise and work on the boat, but we're not going to. Like I say, we're 100% prepared and looking forward to the next leg.
So you're confident you can recover?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, you look at the scoreboard and we're way down there, but there's 7 or 8 other legs and lots of import racing and lots of places to accumulate more points. So it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not over by any means. For sure, it's going to be hard for us, but we'll get back up there.